So today I'm back at it, hauling logs. Now, the first couple batches I did, I pretty much just took the bigger stuff when we hauled it with the log truck, and then when I came back, the video that you probably saw yesterday, the day before, I tried to pick just the bigger stuff up because what I'm trying to do is put it onto the concrete slab so that it can be processed, and I don't want any real small logs, so I was specifically kind of picking out the bigger stuff, leaving the small ones, leaving the nasty ones, anything that was shattered, I tried to leave that. So I'm trying to pick this stuff out. Now, I didn't show all the footage from this. There's like 27 minutes of video here, and I was there pretty much all day. So I might have had 4 hours of video, and I tried to eliminate it down to just kind of the action of stuff. But there was a lot of times I'd hop off the tractor and I would take logs like the stuff you see right there, those little tiny tops, and I would throw them off to the side because I don't want a lot of those up on the concrete where I'm going to be processing, because with the processor it's kind of a waste of time doing that little bitty stuff. You really don't, you just, for the amount of fuel and time you spend to cut it and then split it, it's almost as fast just cutting it with a chainsaw. And that stuff's easy to handle with a chainsaw. So there's a lot of small stuff in there that I didn't really want to put in there. There's stuff like this big one right here. You can see that big split on the end there. I'm going to spin that around so I can get it into the trailer. A lot of this kind of stuff, it just took a lot of extra time. And so when the log truck driver was there on the first pile that we got, there was a bunch of good stuff in a pile that was easy for him to load, and then there was a whole bunch of nasty stuff. Now, this stuff is everywhere from 5 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 7 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet, 11 feet, 12 feet. Some of the stuff is 14 feet long, so it's just all over the place, which is why I told them I really wasn't all that interested in it, but they just wanted it gone, so they said, just come and get it. So I kind of cleared a few things off because I knew there was going to be a good bunch of wood here, and they told me I could just have it. But I did pay them some money for it, even though it's, I mean, I'm going to be able to make firewood out of it, but there's just a lot of small stuff like that bunch right there I'm grabbing now that just takes a lot of extra time, and I really can't process it very easily with the processor. There's some things I could pick through, and I definitely could run through the processor, and that's kind of what I did. Since this day, I've sorted all this stuff out, and you'll see that coming up in the future. So the first day I did 6 loads, and it was pretty much the good stuff. And then this day when I was there, the first load was about half and half good stuff and smaller stuff. I put that up onto the concrete slab. You can see right there, that one on the bottom is only about a 6-footer, if that. And the other one's probably a 9-footer. They're just all over the place. So then the second load was a little better because as I go into the pile here, the logs get a little more consistent as far as diameter. But as you can see, they're all different lengths. So the log truck guy, when he saw that, he's like, I don't want to load this because they can't have it hanging off, the sides going down the highway. So I had to trim a bunch of that off. And it's not that it's, not going to make good firewood. And it's not that I didn't want it. It's not that it was bad. They just didn't know they should have cut it, to 8 feet, or you could have left everything at 16 feet for that matter. You could have left a lot of it at 16. And they pulled out the whole tree and then cut it up. They had a logger guy come in, and they were intending on having it for firewood. But if you see on the side of their shed there, on the left, if you look at the screen right now, that is a very small portion of what they have. So they have an overhang. You can see where that wood is. That goes the full length of the shed. It's solid wood. They must have 30 full cords of wood in there, if not more. I don't know. I didn't shoot any video of it, and I didn't measure it, but it's 6 feet high. It runs the entire length, and they just don't need any more wood. They don't even heat with wood. It's just auxiliary, a fireplace or a fire pit. So they're not really heating with wood for their house. They wanted it, but they didn't want it to go to waste either. And so then going forward, we had talked before I left when I was loading the tractor up at the end of the day here. They're going to have another I forget, I think they said 40 or 50 acres of dead ash trees that are going to be cut because they want to get it obviously taken out before it's just not any good anymore. And it's getting to the point now where some of it's getting kind of rotten, but they're going to have it logged off. And I told them, I said, 8-footers would be ideal, or they could come to 11 feet. That would fit in my trailer really well, and I could just come and get it. But if they've got semi-loads, I'll probably just hire the guy to come in. But it was going to cost me more to haul it than what it was worth to pay him to haul all the small stuff and cut it all off. And he didn't really want to waste the time on it. They want to come pick a load up in a half an hour and be gone, and it just wasn't the case. But again, it still will make real good fire. But you can see that all the different links in that pile there is just real random. And it's good wood. Some of it's real solid. Some of it's getting a little punky and a little rotten. And I'll sort that out as I cut. And a lot of this stuff I will be able to run in the processor. Like I said, there was, I think, a grand total of 8 loads, if I remember correctly, that ooh, that's a nice one. 8 loads that I got with my trailer, and there was probably 1.5 cords to as much as maybe 2 full cords. I don't think quite that much. And then I had 3 loads of the small stuff. You're going to see that coming up later in the video too. But here I'm just loading it up and practicing with my grapple. It's fun to do that. Sometimes it's frustrating. I didn't show everything, but here you go. Enjoy. Big dump. So we've got this one load today. Probably got one more of the good logs, and then we're going to be hauling probably 2 or 3 loads of tops. That is the plan. The tops are going to go out in the field because I don't want to run them through the processor because they're small and they're crooked and tiny and all that. Just trying to put the big stuff out here for the processor. So yesterday we did 6 loads, and I just did this one now, so for sure we got at least another one. So there's yesterday's loads. If you didn't see those, you should have. There were six different dumps we did here yesterday. So we're probably up to close to a full semi-truck load, I'm thinking. I don't know. I think I'm getting somewhere in the neighborhood of a 1.5 cords to close to 2 full cords per load. Pretty close because I'm heaping them pretty high. So 12.7. I don't think I got 14 full cords here yet of logs. If I was to guess, somewhere between 11 and 13. I don't know, something like that. A bunch. So pretty much a semi-load is what I would guess if I was a guessing man, and I am a guesser. So all right, let's go get another one. This is what I ended up doing for a lot of it that I didn't show in the video. I'm pulling out all the really small shattered pieces, the stuff that's short, stuff that is just not going to load well. And again, like I said, I mean, there's good firewood in all this stuff. It's just that for the processor, it's not ideal. So I'm trying to get down to the better wood. And like that one there, that's probably 16, 17 feet. I don't know, 18 feet. So a lot of just random lengths there. Like I said, everywhere from 5 foot to 15, 16 feet. And when you're loading it, you kind of want to have them fit in somewhat even, and you try to fill the space as much as possible so there's not a lot of void. So when I'm dumping them in here, I'm in between here, you're not seeing it, but I'm hopping off the tractor, hopping up inside of there, and I'm kind of shuffling them around, trying to get it so that I can get a more solid load, because if you just drop them in like pixie sticks, crisscrossing here and there and everywhere, you have lots of empty space. And being that this ash is very light to begin with, and this stuff is very dry, which makes it even lighter yet, there's not a lot of weight to it. I've had big loads of oak that I've put into my trailer where I stacked it from rounds, stacked it left to right, front to back, high as I could go, tight as I could get it, and it was a load. I'm talking probably at the maximum what the trailer can haul. The trailer can haul like 7,500 pounds, but I probably had 8,000 pounds of logs, of rounds in there, and I could feel it. But with this stuff, it's like, there's wood in there, I guess, but it's not like, you know, it's literally like half as much as like a green oak, a bunch of green oak rounds would be, that you're stacking in as tight as you can go. Whereas this stuff, there's so many voids and things. So here what I'm doing is kind of separating out some of the longer ones. And the reason I'm doing that is they would have been resting on the tailgate or the doors in the back of the trailer. So I just put them off to the side. I'm going to put those up on top later. I'm trying to drop in the stuff that'll fit in the inside because it's a 12-foot long trailer. I'm just trying to pull some of the stuff apart. Like that shattered one right there. It's not that there's not good firewood in there. It's just that it's not processor wood for sure, because that stuff just goes all over the place. So I'll probably pick that up later and I'll cut it with a chainsaw. I'll haul it back in a different load. I'm just trying to get stuff like you see right there. Anything that's like 6 inches and up as far as diameter, and then lengthwise stuff that'll fit in there. I'm just kind of moving stuff around so that I can line it up. And there's a lot of stuff I don't show when I'm recording too, because a lot of this time I put into this, literally hours of sorting this wood. I'm doing a lot of this. I'm lining pieces up so I can get a grapple full, and it might look like in some of the editing when you see like, oh man, he's pretty good with that grapple. It's because I'm doing a lot of prep work. If you just go in with a grapple and try to grab it, once in a while you feel pretty proud and you think to yourself, oh, look at that, I got 5 or 6 of them. Other times you go in there, you try to get 5 or 6 and you come up with 2 of them crosswise and they fall out. It's like here, nice straight logs, and it's going to make nice fire with just a single split on it, but it's not processor wood. Like that one underneath my legs there, that's the snaky one. I'm going to try to put it through the processor. I'm trying to just even things up so when I load it, like that shattered one right there, that'll make good firewood, and it's already dry, so that's nice. Another small one. Another little bitty one here. And you can see it's not heavy wood at all. And it's very light. You can pick up that and just swing it around like that. It's light wood. If that was locust or hickory or oak, I wouldn't look so strong. Ash is a very light wood. And being that the stuff is so dry ash, it's real light. But it'll be great firewood. Great campfire wood. I have a lot of customers, that's the stuff they like. They're not buying wood for heat. I mean, they are. I mean, some of them use it for the fireplace wood, but a lot of the people are using it, for campfire wood or just for enjoyment. But look at all the different lengths here and different sizes. And yeah, that's not processor wood there. It just would cause problems. It's causing problems for me right there. I was probably saying some bad words that I edited out. Some adult words like gosh darn, shucks, heck fire, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just trying to get that stuff out of there. And like I said, I mean, if you're on your own property, you take the whole tree and you cut it all and burn it all. And they told me I could have all this stuff for free. They just wanted it gone. But I did give them a couple $100. I gave them $250 for it, and they were happy. So, and the thing is, there's a lot more coming. They say they've got 40 or 50 more acres of dead ash trees. I think all total they got like 100 and look at that. That's what happens right there. That's the tragedy. You get stuff falling everywhere, and then it's frustrating. It's just frustrating to watch. But yeah, they've got a lot more wood that I want to buy from them. And we kind of agreed on a price that I'll pay for a truckload, because the trucking alone is going to cost me like $300 per load, because the guy's got to drive there, he's got to load it up. He's got to haul it to me, unload it, and then drive back. So there's costs there that I have to pay, and ash is everywhere right now by us. I know a lot of people, especially on the East Coast, there's no ash at all. It's all dead and gone. And I notice a lot of the ash swamps by us, where ash grows typically in low areas, because it's a low competition area, a lot of the swampy areas. Not a lot of other trees fighting for that space, and that's why they used to grow there. They're starting to tip over. I see a lot of them not straight anymore. They're tipped, on top of each other. They're horizontal. They're snapping off. All the branches are coming off of them. So we may have another year or two of ash trees, and that's probably going to be the end of it. which is sad because I think it's an awesome firewood. It's one of my favorites. Because it's everywhere. I mean, we've got it. It usually goes fairly straight. It cuts fairly easy, splits fairly easy. Is dry when you cut it. I mean, even if it's a living green tree, it's not very wet wood, so it dries very fast. So it's easy to turn over. So it's an excellent wood, and it's just too bad we're losing all of it. But anyway, here I'm just kind of digging into the pile. I'm trying to loosen up. I do a lot of this that I didn't show in the other videos probably. Where you can see I'm just trying to pick out the bigger ones and then leave the little ones. And then again, I come back and I'll toss those off to the side by hand. I'm not showing a lot of that because it takes extra time. But here I'm just trying to finish the load off here, trying to pile in. I'm trying to go as high as I can so I can get as much in as possible for the load. So I think this is the last one. So I was watching that one and I totally didn't even look over to this side. We had a log over here fall out and it hit the door, knocked it off, but right here it broke the screw eye. So that fell off, and then it dragged right here. Hopefully it didn't bend anything. It doesn't look like it did, but what this is mounted right there in that hole. Sticks through here. And it's made so that if you do have a tragedy, it just lets loose instead of hooking it here or there. Now this is the real test. Let's see if it got, oh, we got a lug in there yet. Look at that. There's always a hanger on a piece of elm. Oh no, it's ash. It's ash. All right, let's see if we damaged the door at all. I don't think I did. We'll find out in just a second. So far it looks good. No problemo. Yeah, it didn't hurt anything. I was afraid it bent it, but it didn't. It just scraped on the bottom because it fell as I was pulling away, so it just slid. So all's well that ends well. So these are the 2 loads from today. Those are the 6 loads from yesterday. Looks like the Woodyard's starting to fill up a little bit. I better get busy. Real busy. There it is. Another load is on and strapped on, ready to go. So I put the rest of the logs that were good enough for the processor on, and then I put on some smaller ones, and I hand loaded a bunch of these little ones because I wanted to take a full load. And then when I come back, I'm gonna start picking all this stuff up and all that down there. So hopefully we get a couple more loads of the limbs or the tops and get those hauled away. So should have enough time to do at least a couple more loads today, I think, and then haul the tractor back today, I think. We'll find out. Gotta get going. Here's what's left. So I got that load on, and all that's left is a little bit here and this jungle over here. It's just odds and ends. It's a little bit of everything. A lot of small stuff. There's a couple good ones right there and there. I see like 3 or 4. There's a couple in there, a couple over there I see, and a lot of junk too. A lot of nasty stuff. Not that you can't get good wood out of this. I mean, this right here I think is basswood. Yeah, basswood. That's basswood. That's basswood. Basswood. A lot of basswood right here. There's some elm right here. An elm. More basswood. There's a couple good ones in here. So I'll pick through it. Probably going to do a lot of hand loading on this next one. I'll pull the pile out with the grapple, and then just have the trailer close by and then hand load it. And over here it's the same thing. It's just a bunch of different stuff. Little ones, short ones, skinny ones. I want fat ones. I like the fat ones. Fat and long. All right, down the road we go. There it is. It ain't pretty, but it'll make firewood. A lot of stuff in here is, well, it's all dry. A lot of ash, so it's gonna be a lot of stuff where you just cut it. Don't even need to split it. So, all right, one more load. We're gonna have to hand load this next one, I think, because I don't know. There's a few good ones in there, but the rest can be hand loading, and then that load, and then get the tractor, and we're done. Up on the slab. So that's 5 dumps today. This is all the small stuff in here, so gotta go get the tractor. Tractor time. That's all that's left.